Hey there, America! Buckle up because we're about to take a wild ride into the future. Specifically, your future. It's 2025. And while we don't have flying cars yet, sorry, Back to the Future fans, things are about to get interesting. Predicting the future is a tricky business, like trying to guess what a toddler will throw at you next. But just like keeping an eye on that toddler, it's important to have a sense of what might be coming our way. Why? Because understanding potential challenges and opportunities helps us prepare and make smarter choices today. So put on your speculative spectacles, and let's dive into some bold predictions for America in 2025. We'll cover everything from the economic roller coaster to the political circus, with a dash of social trends and technological advancements. Oh, and let's not forget about those global issues that always seem to find their way onto America's doorstep. It's going to be a bumpy but hopefully hilarious ride. Ready? Let's do this thing. First up, let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, money, or more accurately, the economy. Will your wallet be singing with joy or weeping softly in 2025? The answer, my friends, is as clear as a mud wrestling competition. Deloitte, those economic fortune tellers, predict a few possible scenarios. The baseline? Hold on to your hats, folks, because economic growth might be slowing down. We're talking a potential dip from 2.4% in 2025 to 1.7% in 2026. And to add insult to injury, inflation might be rearing its ugly head thanks to some new tariffs. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. The optimistic forecast suggests we might see some decent growth, averaging around 2.7% annually. This rosy picture is contingent on tax cuts and deregulation, which, let's be honest, is about as predictable as a cat's mood. And then there's the pessimistic view, which frankly we won't even go into because nobody likes a Debbie Downer. Let's just say it involves economic contraction, aggressive tariffs, and a whole lot of financial frowning. So what does this mean for you? Buckle up because the economic ride might be a bit bumpy. But remember, even on a roller coaster, what goes down must come up, eventually. Ah, politics, the ultimate reality show complete with drama, intrigue, and more plot twists than an M. Night Shyamalan film. So what's in store for the American political landscape in 2025? Well, if the 2024 election results are anything to go by, and let's be real, they usually are, we might be looking at a second term for you-know-who. Yes, the man with the spray tan and the Twitter fingers might just be back in the Oval Office. And if that's the case, expect more of the same America First policies, potential trade wars, and enough geopolitical tension to make a diplomat break out in hives. But it's not just about the man at the top, or the bottom, depending on your political persuasion. The American public is bracing for some serious political conflict. And frankly, who can blame them? With a political climate more polarized than a pair of Kanye West sneakers, it's no wonder folks are expecting fireworks. So, grab your popcorn, America, because the political show is about to get real. Just remember, it's all fun and games until someone starts a trade war. While the politicians are busy duking it out, American society continues to evolve at a rapid pace. Buckle up, because the social landscape is changing faster than you can say gender-neutral bathroom. One of the most significant shifts is the rise of LGBT identification. We're talking a doubling of the percentage since 2012, with Gen Z leading the charge. Bisexuality is now the most common LGBT identity, and support for same-sex marriage is at an all-time high. Love is love, people. Of course, not everyone is on board with these changing social norms. Transgender issues in particular remain a point of contention. While there's growing support for transgender military service, the debate over transgender athletes competing based on their gender identity rages on. Despite the inevitable growing pains, these social shifts reflect a broader trend towards inclusivity and acceptance. As America becomes more diverse, so too do its values. And that's something worth celebrating, even if it makes some people uncomfortable. Section 5. The global stage: America's role in a changing world. It's no secret that America loves to see itself as a global leader. But in a world grappling with complex challenges, what role will the US play in 2025? Well, for starters, there are those pesky geopolitical tensions we mentioned earlier. The conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East show no signs of abating, And with a certain someone potentially back in the White House, things could escalate faster than a game of global thermonuclear war, which for the record, nobody wins. Speaking of potential conflicts, keep an eye on the Middle East. The Assad regime in Syria is about as stable as a Jenga tower after a few beers, and its potential collapse could send shockwaves throughout the region, impacting everyone from Libya to Russia to Turkey. And then there's the rising influence of China and Russia. These two global powerhouses are flexing their muscles on the world stage, and America is watching with a mixture of fascination and trepidation. So, what does this mean for America's role in the world? It's complicated. The US will need to navigate these challenges with a delicate balance of diplomacy, military might, and a healthy dose of self-awareness. Because in a world facing existential threats like climate change and global pandemics, cooperation, not confrontation, is the only way forward. Section 6. Tech Evolution. Brace yourselves for impact. Hold on to your hats, folks, because the tech world is about to get even weirder, and hopefully not in a Black Mirror kind of way. First up, we've got AI, or artificial intelligence, for those who haven't been paying attention to the robot overlords slowly taking over our lives. We're talking major advancements in AI technology, transforming industries from healthcare to finance to transportation. Get ready for personalized AI assistants, self-driving cars that actually work, fingers crossed, and maybe even robots that can fold laundry. A man can dream, can't he? But it's not just AI that's poised to shake things up. 2025 has been designated the year of quantum science and technology by the UN. Now, I'm not a scientist, but I've seen enough Star Trek to know that quantum anything is a big deal. We're talking faster computers, unbreakable encryption, and maybe even teleportation. Okay, that last one might be a bit of a stretch, but a man can dream, right? So what does this mean for you? Embrace the future, my friends, because it's coming whether you like it or not. Just remember to set some boundaries with those AI assistants. You don't want them knowing too much about your late-night pizza ordering habits. Section 7. Public Sentiment. A mixed bag of optimism and concern. With all these potential changes on the horizon, how are Americans feeling about the future? Well, it's a mixed bag, really. Kind of like a bag of trail mix where you've got your sweet optimism mixed in with some nuts of concern, and a few raisins of I don't even know what's happening anymore. Globally, there's a sense of cautious optimism for 2025. But let's be real, after the dumpster fire that was 2024, and let's not even talk about 2023, cautious is probably the operative word here. Americans in particular are anticipating some economic challenges, global discord, and a federal budget deficit that could make even the most fiscally conservative person break out in a cold sweat. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. Americans are also feeling optimistic about the stock market, because who doesn't love a good bull market? Increasing employment, always a plus, and reasonable price growth. Unless you're a fan of hyperinflation, in which case, more power to you. So what does this all mean? Basically, Americans are cautiously optimistic about the future, but they're also not afraid to face the challenges ahead. Because that's what Americans do best. We face adversity head-on, with a can-do spirit and a healthy dose of pragmatism. Section 8. Navigating the uncertainties. Adaptability as key. Let's face it, predicting the future is like trying to herd cats. You can make educated guesses, but ultimately you never really know what's going to happen. And that's okay. In fact, it's what makes life interesting. The key to navigating the uncertainties of the future is adaptability. That means being open to new ideas, embracing change, and being willing to adjust our course when necessary. It also means staying informed, thinking critically, and not believing everything we read on the internet, especially if it comes from a source called catseryoverlords.com. So, as we stand on the precipice of 2025, let's embrace the unknown with a sense of adventure and a willingness to adapt. After all, the future is not something that happens to us, it's something we create. Section 9. Final thoughts. The future is what we make it. Well, there you have it, folks. A glimpse into America's potential future in 2025. It's a future filled with both challenges and opportunities. A future where technology continues to advance at a breakneck pace, and a future where America's role in the world is constantly evolving. But remember, these are just predictions. The future is not set in stone. It's up to each and every one of us to shape the world we want to live in. So, let's get out there, America, and make it a good one. And if all else fails, we can always blame it on the robots. Thanks for listening, and good night.